Over the last 24 hours, 17 earthquakes hit near Area 51. And they weren't small earthquakes. 4.4 magnitude.
Nothing strange, at least not yet. But as we move closer, something else appears, right next to it. A shape, not rock, not coral, bones, but not human. The structure, the proportions, they don't match anything we know. Long limbs.
Something jumped from that balcony to the floor and it ran through my house.
On Mardi Gras, there's a man on one of these upper floors or whatever, super drunk, falls over the railing and splat on the ground, and you can see blood running out of his ear into the soil.
He gave a spirit?
Directly to the land.
And then this happened.
What is that? What is that?
Man, grand rising to the collective. Y'all know we back with another banger, another reaction. I appreciate everybody who been tapping in, running up, and subbing up. If you new to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. This is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate you if you're watching any TV, whatever the case is. I wish it was smooth 7. Might be a trigger warning or 2. I hope not. But I did say, I see a lot of y'all comments saying y'all love the intro. I seen y'all send videos of y'all doing the intro. Again, don't feel away. Don't feel shy or it's wrong to send me clips of y'all doing the intro. Who's to say one day, like I said, I wanted to do this before, but nobody sent enough. Everybody send me their clips and them doing the intro. And to start the video, I will edit it to where it's the collective doing the intro. Every word for word, just different people. And I wouldn't do it that day. I'm gonna give love to y'all. I want the world to see y'all. Everybody need to not see my face for once. How about everybody see the collective's face, and it's all of us. All of us doing the intro, cause that shit makes me hype. And I see comments, y'all repeating it, and y'all love the intro. I literally did not start the intro for y'all to start falling in love with it. It was just something I started doing organically, and now look, y'all love it. But I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all collective, but y'all know what it is. Let's get straight to the video, man. Let's go.
New Orleans. People look at this as like a haunted playground. Why do you think that is?
Because it is. It's so powerful here that even the average person will start to pick up that something's different. Above us are slave quarters. This used to be the big house. That's everywhere in New Orleans. It's the history of the place.
Do you think this city attracts people that are spiritually reckless?
Yeah, most people don't even understand the value of their own spirit. It's real easy to take from them. There's a reason that there's alcohol available 24/7. There are parties 24/7.
Yeah.
During one Mardi Gras, there's a man on one of these upper floors or whatever, super drunk, falls over the railing and splat on the ground, and you can see blood running out of his ear into the soil.
He gave a spirit?
Directly to the land.
This is literally what's going on. There is life outside of the ice walls, people. And they are keeping it from us, and they do not want us to see what is out there. Because if we discover that there's life beyond the ice walls, then guess what? We're not going to play into the money game. And they want to control you through the money. This is why everything in your reality is based on money. The crazy part is there is things that you can't even imagine out there. Water that you drink that can cure any fruits that could give you abilities when you eat it. Things that are beyond your comprehension. All outside of the ice walls. But you know what we're doing? We're going to work being a slave. Day in and day out. They told everybody that the continents that we know is just it. That's the biggest lie ever. And it's such a lie that all countries agreed and signed something called the Antarctic Treaty. And that right there proves that all countries came together to keep you and me and the rest of the billions of people out of Antarctica. Why? Because outside of Antarctica, if you keep going a little further, there's a whole completely existence out there. And we can experience that if we all just come together to get out of here. Wake up, people.
I believe there's land outside the ice walls.
There's vertices, so there's points on the pyramid, right? At the angles. And that's where the energy enters into. The lines from one vertices to another, that's where the energy travels along those lines. So if you think about a hexagon shape, right? The six-sided hexagon, which is common shape you see in beehives. It's a beehive shape. All the energy flows in and it vortexes to the center. And at the center, it dissipates outward. So in a pyramid, all the energy vortexes within the pyramid all the way to the apex, and then it disperses out through the apex. And that's how the energy travels through the pyramid. But you can use these shapes as containment fields for energy, for certain negative energy. And that's what they were used for. Some of the seals of Solomon, some of these ancient magic symbols are actually containment spells.
Wow.
For entities. So I hypothesized that certain structures like the pyramids, where they say they were tombs, I'm like, maybe that's what they are. Imprisonment tombs for ancient spirits to keep them where they are. I associated that with some of these buried craft. And I'm like, maybe this is a technology to further contain some of these entities. Top structure has a lot to do with it. It could be just a marker, but also an extra layer of protection aside from the actual technology, because we really don't know what they are. We would assume that they were some type of mothership or some type of craft that would carry a huge crew, but we really don't know. There are these stories about that being the case, that buried beneath these structures like ziggurats in Mesopotamia, these are the tombs of some of these ancient gods, which would be the Nephilim, because some of them were actually ruling kings. Certain things do line up.
Is that a reach to y'all? Y'all with him?
I remember in Avatar when she connects her hair to the tree. That was an ancient Puerto Rican practice. My ancestors were tapped into nature, and this is what we all have to do. Check this out.
This is the inspiration for the Tree of Souls in Avatar. This is a tree in Puerto Rico, also known as Boriquen, the indigenous name, in which this tree, actually called Yabisi, was used by Tainos to connect themselves to the spirit world and their ancestors. As I have posted, Taino culture is one of the bases of the inspiration for the first movie of Avatar. Not just the trees itself, but the hamacas, the bioluminescent bays, the weapons, the attire. The name for the chief of the Navi people in the forest, Kasik, directly taken from the word cacique.
You see, Mother Nature is a feminine energy. And we can't help feminine energy if the women right now in current modern day are not in their feminine energy. Women, we need you to all come together and start helping the community, because feminine energy is what helps this whole planet. Mother Nature is feminine energy. That's why she grows things all around. Women all over the world need to get back to this. Connect yourself to nature. You are nature. Once you connect to nature, nature gives you visions, gives you truth, gives you answers to things you have questions for. All that is divine is within all of us being one. Once women all over the world start coming together and doing this, everything's going to make sense. And what did they do? They put it in entertainment.
This is a place for prayers to be heard.
They showed you guys right in your face what it was like when you connect your hair to the tree. And we just laughed about it and enjoyed it like entertainment. The whole time, the truth was in your face. The planet is living. It's actually alive. We're not just on a rock floating in space. That's not true at all. So women, you know what you guys got to do.
Wait, so y'all really thought that it was humans controlling this world? No. King Charles is in America. Ugh. Why do you think they keep speaking about UFO files? Once the population really find out who's controlling things, I guarantee they will not sleep. All these movies we were watching about reptilians, draconians, we say, shit, let's get our popcorn, let's get our hot dogs, let's watch. They're not movies. This video is about to get a little dark and a little deep. Stay with me. No man should bow to another man. But what if we are not bowing to men? Remember Queen Elizabeth? They said she passed away in 2022. That's a lie. She really passed away in 2019. Remember, it's all about the crown, and the word means crown. So when she passed away in 2019, they are trying to say that the is the crown. The crown is being passed from her to our son. These people are not really people. I know it's kind of hard for people to understand this, but it's facts. Everything is about numbers. She passed away at the age of 96 or 69. Number 9 completion of a cycle. The number 9 represents endings, closure, spiritual wisdom, humanitarianism, and karma. Combined with 6 stands for home, family, nurturing, responsibility, unconditional love. 96 signals the important phase. Life is ending. If you really look at the world, nothing is the same. I mean, nothing. It just feels dead, like it was an ending. That's because it was. The crown got passed. Yes, it's all about the crown. They don't want to tell you this, but I'm about to tell you this. They are really playing chess with our spirits. Yes, these people sell spirits. Yes, these people eat our energy. Negative energy and positive energy. If you look at the chessboard, you see white pieces and black pieces. You don't want to be white. You don't want to be black. You want to be gray. Keep your energy. If you are gray, you don't play the game. They can't move your spirit around the universe. When you open this, you will start seeing this. But if you keep this closed, you will only see this. So-called elites that wear the crown, they come from the Draco star constellation. Let's just say they are pirates. They take spirits and they ship them throughout the universe. So the people that control this world, they come from Dracos. What they did was they took our spirits and sold it to another star constellation called Canis Major, the dog star. Just think about it. All the names you can give God, you give a dog. God is dog spelled backwards because they are trying to tell you that our God coming from the dog star.
All right, y'all. So this has been going on. I have more videos that I took on my phone, but I had to get on Instagram and show y'all this. I am not crazy. So earlier I was going to the store, right? And I seen the clouds over in this direction. And I said, damn, I ain't never seen clouds like that. And I tried to take a video, but I couldn't because the light had turned. And so I'm like, bro, I've never seen clouds like this. It looked like some shit finna pop out. Now I'm sitting on my couch, and bro, y'all, this is not lightning, dude. Okay, that little part looked like lightning. But the rest of this is not lightning, dude. Look at this. This is fighting in the sky. They cover it up with the clouds. It's like cloaked ships. I don't know how to explain this. But this is real life, y'all. This is literally live right now. Taylor Nicole. Look at this. Wow. And it's only here. The rest of the sky is freaking clear.
Now, I'm not saying I disagree, because I kind of agree. Well, maybe not to the exact, because I think they up there fighting too. Maybe not right there, I don't agree. Not that I disagree. But my question is, if they are, then why the pieces ain't falling out the sky hitting the ground? Or is that why we starting to see these meteors hit the ground? I don't know. Y'all tell me. Let me know y'all thoughts, man. I'm just trying to ask some questions. Make some shit make sense to me. Let me know. She not wrong though, because shit do be weird.
I keep telling y'all something is about to happen, and nobody is paying attention. You just had some very important people saying that they believe in 2027, aliens are gonna make contact with Earth. And now, over the last 24 hours, 17 earthquakes hit near Area 51. And they weren't small earthquakes. 4.4 magnitude, back to back. Now you gotta ask yourself this. Why is the ground shaking on one of the most secretive military zones on Earth? The same place tied to alien sightings, underground bases, and classified experiment. You really think that's natural? Then we still have 15 scientists either missing or deceased. No explanation. Now connect the dots. For years, insiders and high-level officials have hinted at things that they can't fully explain. We're talking about crafts the size of football fields, objects moving in ways that don't follow human physics, stopping in midair, accelerating instantly, and then disappearing. You gotta remember that this is Area 51. This is the place that people have believed for decades is hiding the truth. Recovered technology, non-human intelligence, things they don't want the public to ever see. Now ask yourself, earthquakes shaking the ground, scientists disappearing. What if they're moving something? Or better yet, what if they're activating something? What I will tell you is, this ain't normal. I'm out.
Okay, so my friends and I got this cabin. It's in the middle of the woods, and we got it as like a little vacation for us for the week. And there's some weird things that are happening. So this is the first bathroom. This shower, I was in a different room, but she was there.
Yeah, so we were watching a movie in the room right here, and this shower turns on, and we hear it like on full blast, just like water coming out of it, and then our friend walks in here to try and turn it, like, see what's going on, and as soon as she comes in the door, it just stops.
Okay, so now we're in my room, and right here on the ground, in the middle of the night, 5 o'clock in the morning, and I hear scratching coming from under the floor. Okay, here's the worst part. I woke up with this and these. Like, tell me that's not a coincidence. So we're staying here for 6 more nights. I don't have a lot of time, but I'll keep you updated.
Haunting presence while being here. Now the quality is far from HD, but the video still captures footage of something visible and quite peculiar. This is what was caught.
Okay.
You know, this happens a lot in them type of environments. We see this a
I have a
lot.
ghost story. I collect Native American artifacts. Basically, my buddy and I, we went one afternoon. We find some stuff and we take it. So I go home. I lived in a cabin at the top of a hill in the middle of the woods. 4 or 5 nights in a row, my truck alarm started going off. Didn't think anything about it. Went to bed sober. It wasn't like I had a wild and crazy night or anything like that. I woke up and I had my kitchen window had been unlatched and pushed open.
Dude, what?
Dude, my wife and I bought this mirror. And so she and I like hung this mirror above our bed, and we looked at it really good, and we're like, okay, good, and we go to bed. The next day, the mirror's got a giant scratch across the freaking mirror.
Oh,
Dude, there was 1 week that I woke up every single night at 2:59 or 3 a.m. on the freaking dot. I woke up, borderline having a panic attack. My heart was racing, I was sweating, and I turned my lamp on, and I put my feet on the side of the bed, and I stand up. When I stood up, something jumped from that balcony to the floor, and it ran through my house. To the point where I grabbed my gun, dude, and I freaking racked that thing, and I ran downstairs, and I freaking vetted my entire house. I checked every corner, every closet, and everything because it was so real that I was convinced that somebody was in my house. And dude, there was nothing.
So scared.
Damn. Shit, I already know it, man.
This Reddit user claims that after 3 years of hearing noises from inside his kitchen, they finally captured a photo of what's been haunting his apartment with a night vision camera. A tall figure standing, so clear that most people thought it could be an actual person, squatting inside their apartment. To further investigate this claim, the user recorded a video in night mode in the same area, and they captured this unsettling sight. If you look closely, the figure seems to be moving erratically, almost as if they're paranoid of being caught. Some people thought it was Dave Grohl. Some said Keanu Reeves. Hell, some even said Jesus. To make this even more eerie, according to the poster, their girlfriend was in an adjacent room watching television while this video was being recorded. Additionally, the room that is directly behind the figure in the video is the pantry. However, according to the user, there is no crawl space that is big enough for a person to fit through if it were to be a squatter. Whether it could be a hoax, I guess I'll leave that up for you to decide.
I don't know how that app is even still legal.
Alright, have you ever heard about the Randonautica app? No. It's this app, right, where it's like, so you get random coordinates and then you go to the coordinates and then you just find random objects or random things, right? It's a little weird. People have theories that, oh, it's run by the dark web, whatever. There was this one situation in Seattle where these kids were doing the Randonautica app next to this beach and shit, and then they see a suitcase. The coordinates literally led them to the fucking suitcase. So they see the suitcase, they open it up, they see plastic bags inside. They're just saying, yo, what the does it smell, bro? So they start poking at it, whatever. They look inside it and they see like blood and shit. So they call the cops. They're scared. They're like, yo, hopefully this shit ain't a body. Cops come. They like actually investigate it.
Like for autopsy and shit?
And then they determine that it's a 35-year-old Jessica Lewis and a 27-year-old Austin Wenner. They basically traced it back to where they lived. The landlord and shit. They were renting from this guy. People would say that he was weird. He wasn't really talking to nobody. He was to himself. He had a history of animal abuse and also SA. I don't want to say the word. And out of nowhere, a new person wanted to live in there.
It's already sus.
It's already sus, you know what I'm saying? Like, they went missing and now a new person wants to live there. They didn't say her name. She wanted to go under anonymous. She said that when she was looking at the place, if it was weird and stuff, it was eerie. There was marks on the floor, like scratches. There was also scratches on the guy's face. And then there was also plastic all over the basement. She said that supposedly she saw a hand underneath the pile of clothes, a bloody hand. She reported it to the cops. The neighbors as well said that they heard some weird noises coming from the house, like loud bang and like screams and shit. He ended up chopping up the bodies. He put them in the suitcase, and basically it was all because they didn't pay him rent.
Damn, bro. See, that app is crazy. I don't advise nobody to go there, and if you do, be prepared, bro, cause you playing with some shit. Like, literally, we seen some crazy clips, bro. I don't know. What's y'all thoughts, man? What's y'all thoughts? It's not a game I want to play. It's not an app I want to be on.
Nautica experience we will never forget that happened last year. It's to a random location in McCollin X. It was our first time using the app, and it took us to a random field. We were sus about it, but we had to go check it out. It was a 20-minute drive until we got to the location. We got to the location and waited for about 5 minutes, and then this happened.
What is that? Someone running. What is that? What is that? Why is someone running? No, lower it down, lower it down. You're dumb as... Dude, nah. That, bro. There's someone running, bro. He's just running. Dude, that's just too fast, though. It's fast, right? Yes. Dude, go.
Looking closely at the body, it disappears, and the eyes glow. What do you all think it was?
I ain't seen no glowing eyes, but I seen some shit running fast.
Something was discovered underwater, and it doesn't look human. We start from space, looking down at a group of remote islands. From above, everything seems peaceful. Clear water, reefs, nothing unusual, just nature. Until we zoom in, closer and closer. And then we drop into Google Street View underwater. At first, it looks normal. Fish, coral, silence. But then, you see it? A ship, old, broken, resting on the ocean floor like it's been there for decades. Maybe longer. Nothing strange, at least not yet. But as we move closer, something else appears, right next to it. A shape, not rock, not coral, bones, but not human. The structure, the proportions, they don't match anything we know. Long limbs, strange skull, almost not from this world. Frozen underwater, like it was never meant to be found.
The tail looked like an octopus. I don't know.
Last time me and my friend, this is Jasmine, this is one that had the limp in the last video, we did do Randonautica, but we did nearly get human trails. But since everyone in the comments is saying that we're lying and that it's a coincidence, we're going to try it again tonight. Just we do not want to do this. We're going to try it again because last time we got chased.
Well, that's not just me for driving automatic because I've been given for dropping the money for not being able to walk. Yes, I drive an automatic car.
So we're gonna see if anything happens. It sent us like another like 5 minutes, but last time we walked, but
we're taking a banger.
Yeah, we are driving this time, so it's taking us. Where did it say it would look like a sketchy little
it's like a lane. It's called like something lane.
Like, but as much as I said for everyone when I posted the video to not use the app, we're just gonna see if anything happens because I've got my comments flooding with everyone basically saying that it's a coincidence, and to be fair, it might be. So we are going to test it out. We are en route. We are 4 minutes away. Stop, is it?
We good? Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a dirt track.
That's what I mean. Something's already nearly stopped us from going, and it's right here.
No, exactly where it is, and it's like a one-way dirt track.
Yeah, it's sending us down this random road.
Wait, let's just check the door. What the?
No, turn around. There's a suitcase. Jasmine, no. Jasmine, no, turn around! What? No,
I don't know
just keep going, it's fine.
Did you get it?
Yes, I got it, just keep going.
Because that's a bloody suitcase with like plastic and twigs. I swear it had like plastic wrapped around it. Don't do that, I thought you saw something to my right.
No. It has just sent us to a location with a suitcase.
Emergency, what service? Police. Yeah. There was liquid coming out of it, and we didn't know if that was like something we should report or not.
Any reason that it's because last time we did use the app,
we got chased by this man and he kind of stalked us home.
Yeah,
so.
He followed us home, so.
Okay, assuming they were talking at the moment, right?
No.
I just said Randonautica out loud, and a number of my colleagues have just turned around and looked at me and gone, so obviously other people know what it is. So, tell me about the suitcase. It was... We've actually got a video of it.
Yeah, we've got a photo of it.
I don't understand why people play with it. I don't.
You see, this is exactly why I have trust issues with mainstream archaeology. Every single time we uncover something interesting that doesn't fit into the official academic timeline of history, it's either mocked and labeled a con, or they do this. So in 2011, Russian cave explorer Arthur Zhemyukov made a wild discovery in the region of North Caucasus in Russia. At the top of the Kara-Hora mountain range, he found something that revealed an unwritten chapter of human history. At first, it just seemed like a deep hole leading into a cave formation inside the mountain, so he decided to check it out himself, and as he went down this narrow vertical opening, he started to notice this wasn't any regular cave shaft. On his descent, he saw massive parallel stone blocks, polished flat and perfectly geometrically aligned with each other. We're talking straight edges, right angles, and intricately chiseled formations that indicated this definitely wasn't natural, it was engineered. Him and his team explored deeper and found out that this shaft was so much beyond our understanding than he ever thought. This is the Kara-Hora shaft, and I don't care what anyone says, someone, like an intelligent being, clearly made this. Inner passageways with perfectly straight, polished walls going down 40 meters into the mountain, leading into a larger chamber with 36-meter-high ceilings filled with enormous megalithic slabs fitted together and arranged in perfect alignment with each other, like they were intentionally placed there, with some blocks appearing to be up to 200 tons, and nothing can explain how anyone would have moved these stone megaliths into this narrow shaft. The total distance from the very top of the shaft down to the lowest lowest part of the explored chamber was around 100 meters, about the height of a 25-story building. And there appeared to be more tunnels and chambers below that went even deeper into the mountain, which are still undiscovered. Clearly an artificial construction of a monumental scale, an absolute groundbreaking find by any means. And as per usual, absolutely no historic records of any structure like this documented anywhere in this region. The team even filmed their exploration for a Russian TV documentary, mapping out the shaft to reveal its true detailed architecture, with block arrangements that looked incredibly similar to the ones found in the Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt. It also features several tunnels that don't seem to have been designed to be accessed by humans, just like we see in the Egyptian pyramids. No ladders, stairs, or any easily accessible means of traversing many of these passageways. Even small side tunnels that no human can fit through, and oddly enough, the team felt a constant draft of air blowing up into the chamber from deeper underground, suggesting this wasn't built for habitation, but rather some sort of other functional purpose. Possibly a subterranean complex of another larger structure that used to exist on top of the mountain. Perhaps the entire mountain itself was an ancient megastructure, like a pyramid that's been heavily eroded over time. What if it was, dare I say it, an ancient energy power generator, part of a system of global power plants that produced energy for an ancient advanced civilization that lived here tens of thousands of years ago. Just like the Giza power plant theory suggests the pyramids of Egypt may have been. Whatever it is, it's clearly something that was built by an intelligent species, undocumented in an absolute feat of ancient human engineering, or maybe even non-human engineering, just a theory. Above ground, the surrounding area has even more carefully sculpted stones all around it, with what appear to be machine marks all over them. Flat surfaces, straight cuts, and massive stone blocks stacked perfectly together, indicative of man-made production. But our cave explorer Arthur didn't find the shaft by accident. In fact, he was intentionally searching for it. Many ancient legends in the North Caucasus region about sprawling underground cities have been told and passed down for generations. And while researching old World War II documents written by those Germans, there was one particular topic that caught Arthur's attention: the Ahnenerbe, a project initiated by top German commanders with the primary objective of restoring ancient occult practices and powers, who conducted operations around the world to find the most sought-after ancient relics and mystical sites that allegedly held power beyond our understanding. Expeditions for the Ark of the Covenant, the Holy Grail, the mythical underground city of Shambhala, uncovering the secrets of Antarctica. These guys were on a mission. When the Germans launched Operation Edelweiss to capture the oil-rich regions of the North Caucasus in Russia, the mountain ranges were one of the hot spots on their hit list, the assumed home of an ancient advanced civilization who left behind traces of their esoteric knowledge. Among this region was the Karahora Mountain, which they actually got really close to discovering the shaft themselves. And they even marked some of the surrounding stones with, their trademark symbol. It was through studying these old wartime documents that Arthur finally located the site, assuming there to be many, many more structures and full-blown underground cities in this mountain range, which still remains largely unexplored. In 2015, Arthur claims to have made yet another groundbreaking discovery about the shaft and the surrounding region, insisting that he gathers more resources for his expedition ASAP. And literally the next day, he gets hit by a car and passes away. Yeah, for real, I can't make this shit up. Then Viktor Chernobrov, another explorer who accompanied Arthur in many of his explorations, dies of cancer 2 years later. Then 3 more team members involved in the expedition all abruptly pass away within that same time span. Was this just another huge coincidence, as I'm sure the debunkers are insisting it is, or did Arthur and his team find something that they weren't supposed to? Today, there isn't much information on the shaft or any explorations in the surrounding mountain range, with no new updates released about any of this for years and no plans in place to explore further, likely out of fear of having an accident if you do. If you genuinely think this is a natural formation and nothing suspicious is going on here, go get help.
I really appreciate his work. He always teaching me something. And I really appreciate y'all sending me these clips, man. 'Cause sometimes these clips, yeah, some of we may have re-seen, but y'all always be sending me something that keeps me learning, keeps me going down different rabbit holes. And I appreciate that. Because there's things I don't be knowing, and I'll be learning. So I appreciate y'all, for real. Thank you.
Cuadro 2012. I don't know who none of these people are, bro. Holy shit. ¿Aquí qué es, loco?
De los Illuminati.
¿Crees? ¿Y vos aquí trabajás o qué onda? ¿Cómo está el desvergue?
Yo aquí me vengo a rebuscar, como ahí es el mercado.
¿Mercado?
El mercadito de Merliot se llama ahí.
No jodas, este es mercado.
¿Ya has oído?
No, loco.
Vaya, esta onda es bien famosa porque la mara aquí viene a ponerse a verga, a comer bueno y a ver los balcones.
Hijo de puta, ya van a chocar. Bro, they've been here since 1912? 1882. Damn. Supremo Consejo del Salvador. No sé si has visto que tienen hasta centros donde van a hacer... Ajá, esa es mierda, Eva. Ah, puta, ojalá que vos te has echado todo este desvergue aquí. Lo que es tener feria, ¿o?
You know, what I find the most interesting about this Freemason pyramid is that it's right in the middle of every big landmark in El Salvador. Like one of the biggest stadiums in all of Central America. So right in front of it is one of the biggest malls in all of El Salvador. People say that the Freemasons are a secret society of super wealthy people that dictate what happens in the world.
What does SFU mean? SFU. It's crazy, huh? LIF. Aren't those 3 dots related to gangs? Or I'm tripping? I know I ain't tripping, bro. Shit, I'm about to get... Yeah. Yo, I'm trying to join that shit too. Shit, let me know.
What you know about like the Vatican? Because I seen something where they said the Vatican, our souls go to the sun, then the Vatican got them beat down. And
the Vatican comes under criticism because of the Vatican libraries. They only got 2 miles of library that nobody can go to. In the very first case of a crashed UFO, it happened in Vatican territory, and they contacted the Americans to bring the crash craft here to America. All of this can be fact-checked to everybody that's watching. Well, the Vatican came out and made a statement saying that God created more organisms than just us as human beings. And that doesn't mean that God is fake. Because all of the origin stories of supernatural experiences where human beings interface with creatures or beings more superior than us, it's all held in the Vatican Library.
how can someone that believes in Jesus also believe in aliens? Because wouldn't that kind of, I would say if you believe in aliens, wouldn't you be more inclined to believe in evolution?
To believe that the most complicated organism that was made by God as human beings is asinine. Look how foolish we are as humans.
Facts, bro. Facts. And shit, if you thinking the extraterrestrial is a demon, I mean, well, look at what humans do. Shit, humans do some demonic shit. Come on, bro. Don't dismiss it like us humans don't be doing some wild shit.
Just like how they're hiding the secret of the pyramid under the Hoover Dam.
The U.S. government! Which is covering up the truth about the ancient pyramid under the Hoover Dam!
And I just thought how so many of us, including myself, have been focusing so much on CERN. And what if CERN has just basically been gathering an energy source like dark matter or whatnot to open a Stargate? And what if that Stargate is actually the Hoover Dam? And once I started researching this, I found some interesting articles. There's not a heck of a lot of them, but these articles are all talking about how the Hoover Dam was built like a Stargate. So I believe that a lot of people did different research in that this is all connected and culminating together. And if we look at this article, I think this needs to be looked into on a much deeper scale. I just think that there's something going on with the Hoover Dam, and what if what is going to be birthed forth is something that's actually going to come out of that area? What if this also is a large part of a smaller part? What if these archways to Baal that they've been putting up, we don't know what's been constructed inside of them. I do have a video that I had seen where a person had mentioned that all the arches were built by robots and were all built by machines. And who's to say, with the weird things that are going on in this day and age with technology and what have you, what's to say that these archways aren't going to be dimensional portals put up all over the world for, you know, the armies of the underworld to come forth through, or fallen angels, the dark ones, whatever you want to call them. Whatever's coming through them isn't going to be good, but there's a lot of other stuff that's coming together, and I just believe that we need to be really, really paying attention very closely as to what is going on and look into all aspects of all things in order to see what the enemy is up to.
These people called the ant people. Go to the Cairo Museum, you see the ant people depicted there that took them to underground chambers. This structure was built to keep them alive, not by them, by the gods. And this one was discovered by a farmer, and when they opened it up and went down there, it can hold up to
1,000 people going down 12 stories deep into the ground. No sign of any collapse. 14,000 ventilation shafts leading to the highest levels to bring oxygen to the people at the deepest level. And even areas for worshiping and cattle, livestock. Darren Kuyu is an amazing underground city.
I know y'all, I know Feathers is about to be ruffled by him.
Does anyone else find it interesting that so much has been removed from our history books? Like, if you go and actually get the physical textbook from before 1910, if you go and get a history book before 1910, it actually says that there was an advanced civilization here in the United States before the Native Americans. That there was evidence that they found it when they came over here, that they met the Native Americans, and then they found all these ruins from, quote unquote, in the book, an advanced civilization that was here in the past, but was no longer here. Yet my entire life growing up, I was never taught that. None of us were ever taught that. In fact, we're taught the opposite, and we're told not to ask about that. Why did they take it out of the books? I can't be the only one that's curious about this stuff. I mean, everything's being put, in computers and databases. The problem with that is that they're removing anything.
When I used to ask these questions in school, I used to get in trouble. Me and my mom just talked about this.
This is a world flight map from 1930. And look how they were flying back then. They were using the Zeppelins or the blimps or whatever you want to call them. Here's one showing a path, and they show the pictures all the way around this. And then look at this. Here you go over here and across the Pacific. You have them as well. And then obviously you have your airplanes, but I'd much rather take a ride than that. Very interesting. And you can see all the different areas they would fly, whether it's by plane or by the Zeppelin. And then these are all the different places going around the bottom. I can't make it out. I think this is Chinese. The language on here, I'm not sure. You can tell me. Thought it was really neat though. They showed a lot of different areas, and different people. Like then some of the buildings they showed like that, and then like this one here. It's just absolutely amazing. But I have no idea where any of these are at because I can't read any of those. But these are obviously all places that you could go visit. Look how big that building is. And then they would travel up here, as you can see, to that destination, and then going down to what would have been Alaska, which was America by then. Really neat. Really, really neat. Comment, let me know what you think about that. I thought it was a really just interesting map. You can see the whole one here and just all the different areas they would travel to. Well, they did that by plane going down here. Interesting. Versus taking this. As always, thanks for following, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for being a part of this. Always stay curious. Always. Until next time.
And they took that shit from us, bro.
There is a really interesting theory going around from some people who believe that the Garden of Eden is located underneath the ice of Antarctica. News broke the other day that a prehistoric world was discovered right beneath the ice of Antarctica, full of mountains, lakes, and valleys. And it's no secret that Antarctica used to be a place vibrant with green grass, all type of plants, and even multiple animals. If the Garden of Eden is located in Antarctica, it would make sense as to why they don't want anyone going there. In the Bible, God put an angel with a flaming sword at the entrance of the garden so no man can enter it again. So if the Garden of Eden was discovered by the general public and people trying to enter it got stopped by an angel, there'd be no question about the existence of God.
They found out where the quote-unquote devil lives in the world. In the Bible, Jesus said, one of my teachers named Antipas would die and be martyred, right? Saint Antipas was martyred and he was killed in, that bowl? They put somebody in like a metal bowl and like boil them alive. That happened in Geneva, Switzerland. People are saying Geneva, Switzerland is the literal place of hell. Literally the portal to hell, where that's at least where the devil resides, because that's what it says in the Bible. Do you know what else is in Geneva, Switzerland? CERN. CERN headquarters is in Geneva, Switzerland, and the CERN logo is what? Six, fam. And people say CERN is working on particle historical generation and messing with matter of the universe to what? To tear our dimension with the supernatural and the natural, fam. Theory? What if they're trying to open the portal to hell, bro?
There are 3 places in the world which are really lacking in investigation right now. One of them is the Amazon, 5.5 million square kilometers, very little archaeology done. Another is the Sahara Desert. The Sahara Desert, tough place to work. I can understand why there's little archaeology done there, but the Sahara Desert was green during the Ice Age. It had a completely different climate regime. We should consider the possibility that missing parts of the human story are there. And then under the continental shelves, because sea level rose 400 feet. These are 3 domains that archaeology has largely not investigated.
In the early 1980s, a team of American researchers arrived at the edge of the Sahara Desert in Algeria. Up ahead was nothing but rolling sand dunes stretching as far as the eye could see, and the team had hired local guides from the nearby town of Timimoun to take them deep into the Tawat Desert region. What they were looking for wasn't much more than a rumor. Somewhere out there, supposedly an ancient fortress, and no one knew who built it or why. Now, even though they'd been paid good money, the guides that the researchers hired hesitated to take them any further. I mean, this is one of the harshest environments on the planet. But the Americans insisted, and they headed out into the Sahara. And soon, the determination paid off, because as they crested this massive sand dune, one of the guides pointed ahead and shouted something in Arabic. And sure enough, there, rising up from the sand about 32 feet high, was their destination, the Qasar Draw, also known as the Timimoun Fortress. Now, even from the distance, researchers could tell that this structure was different from anything else they'd studied in the region. Most fortified villages like this were built in mountainous areas for defense, and they were all pretty much the same. They all had attached houses clustered together along with mosques, baths, ovens, and shops. But this fortress was pretty different. I mean, for starters, it was completely circular, nearly 200 feet in diameter, and it was out here in the middle of nowhere all by itself. Now, I should mention that this team wasn't the first to have visited Qasar Draw, but nothing they'd heard could have prepared them for how this place actually looked, because as they got closer, they began noticing these little details that did not add up. I mean, the walls of the place were double layered, with a clay wall on the inside and a wall of stones covering the clay on the outside. The weird thing, though, was there weren't any windows facing outward. Not a single one. And you'd think that you'd want to see outside your fortress, right? But there wasn't any way to do that. The only original opening was the single entrance on the northern side. So, as they get to the entrance, the hand of the team turns to one of their guides and asks him to remind him when this thing was built. And the guy just shrugs and says that nobody knows for sure. 30 generations or something like that, which means it must have been built somewhere around the 1300s. But again, that's all guesswork because the true history of the structure had been lost over time. That was when the head of the team finally let the cat out of the bag. He made a very unusual request, and he asked the guides to leave him and his team there for an entire week. Now, when they heard this, the guides were obviously very shocked. They just tried to tell him how dangerous it was to be out here all alone. But the team lead assured the guide that they'd be fine. I mean, after all, they had the supplies, they had the equipment, and everything they needed. The guides eventually left, and they agreed to return in 1 week's time. Now, right away, researchers got to work. They headed through that single entrance and found themselves in this ancient courtyard. And it was easier to see how this place was constructed. I mean, looking up, they could see that all the rooms had been built across 3 different levels between 2 walls. But the thing that nobody figured out was exactly how people were supposed to get up there. It wasn't just that the access points had fallen into ruins. There wasn't any way to get up there, and it looked like there never had been.
Is that there is like a top secret energy source hidden in the Alaska Triangle, which people have been calling the Dark Pyramid. Now, this pyramid is allegedly 4 times the size of the Great Pyramid of Giza, and allegedly so powerful and so secret that the government has scrubbed it from satellite images entirely. So one man named Nathan Campbell, he actually attempted to find the pyramid. So back in 2020, he hired a charter plane to drop him off as close to the coordinates of the pyramid as he could get. So, you know, they fly out there, and on May 27th, 2020, Nathan was dropped off and he was feeling confident. But by mid-June, Nathan's family stopped getting his satellite texts, and he was never seen again. But they did find Nathan's journal. In the last entry, he said that he was leaving to get water. And that was it.
Man, I feel like Alaska got hella mysteries, bro.
For over 2 centuries, the Rothschild family has controlled more wealth than most nations. Kings trusted them. Governments depended on them. For many people, the scale of the Rothschilds' power was difficult to explain. How could one family build and maintain influence across entire continents for so long? Over time, different theories started appearing. Claims about hidden bloodlines, secret experiments, even rumors that the family itself is connected to reptilian origins. Most of those ideas were dismissed as exaggeration. But when historians started looking at the family's own records, things became far more complicated. Between 1824 and 1877, around 70% of marriages within key branches of the Rothschild family were between blood relatives, most of them first cousins. Now, marriages between relatives weren't unusual among European elites at the time. But what stood out here wasn't that it happened. It was how often it happened and why. And the more researchers looked into it, the more it stopped looking like tradition and started looking like a pattern. But mapping that pattern isn't as simple as it sounds. Parts of the family tree don't line up. Some records are incomplete, and certain names seem to vanish from the historical trail altogether. That's why today we're cutting through centuries of secrecy to answer one question. What is the genetic secret of the most powerful family in the world? The pattern in the family records. Historians who study the Rothschild family archives often begin with something simple: the family tree. At first glance, it looks like any other aristocratic genealogy from Europe. Names stretch across generations, connecting branches of a dynasty that helped shape finance and politics for more than 2 centuries. But when researchers started examining these records more carefully, something unusual began to appear. The same names kept returning again and again. Sons named after fathers, daughters carrying the names of aunts and grandmothers. That alone was not strange, since many traditional families repeated names across generations. What caught the attention of historians was how often those names were connected through marriage. Marriage records preserved in family documents showed a recurring pattern. Cousins were marrying cousins. Close relatives were forming new family branches that were still tied to the same shared grandparents. At first, these connections seemed occasional, the kind of marriages that sometimes happened in aristocratic circles where social circles were small. But as researchers continued mapping the family tree, the pattern became far more consistent than anyone expected. Instead of spreading outward into many unrelated families, certain branches of the Rothschild lineage seemed to bend inward. Genealogical charts showed the same surnames linking together again across decades. Lines that should have been separated began to reconnect through marriage agreements. Over time, the family tree looked less like a wide network and more like a carefully connected structure. Then historians noticed another detail that added to the mystery. Some individuals appeared briefly in correspondence or genealogical notes, but then seemed to disappear from later records. A name might appear in a family letter or a marriage announcement, yet later documents did not always follow their lives in the same way as other relatives were documented. These gaps were small, but they appeared often enough to raise questions among researchers who were trying to understand the full structure of the dynasty. As more family records from different cities were compared, the pattern became clearer. The Rothschild network stretched across major European capitals, including London, Paris, Vienna, Frankfurt, and Naples. Even though these branches operated in different countries, the family maintained remarkably close internal connections. Marriage alliances repeatedly brought relatives from these cities back together into the same bloodline. But why would one of the most powerful financial dynasties in Europe organize its family relationships in such a tightly controlled way. Wealthy families often married within their social class, but the Rothschild pattern appeared more systematic than simple tradition. Researchers eventually realized that the pattern they were seeing was not accidental. And this pattern did not begin by accident. It started with a set of rules created by the man who founded the entire Rothschild dynasty, the founder's strategy. The story of the Rothschild dynasty begins in the city of Frankfurt, in a narrow district that once served as the center of the Jewish community. It was here that Mayor Amschel Rothschild began building what would later.
Is that why the presidents are related? Just asking.
What if I told you that the most powerful weapon ever used against the United States wasn't a missile, wasn't a bomb, it wasn't even something you could see? It was a frequency. For over 2 decades, from 1953 to 1976, the Soviet Union silently bombarded the U.S. Embassy in Moscow with targeted microwave radiation. The diplomats inside had no idea. The U.S. government, they knew. And they decided to say nothing. That's kind of crazy if you really think about it. Staff inside the embassy, they started reporting chronic headaches, fatigue, sleep disruption, mood disorders, and abnormally high cancer rates. They weren't sick from a virus. They weren't breaking down from stress. Their biology was being altered by an invisible frequency aimed directly at the building that they lived and worked in every single day. This ain't no conspiracy theory. This ain't misinformation. This was declassified. This was real. And it was called the Moscow Signal. When the US government finally acknowledged what was happening, they didn't go public. They launched a secret internal research program called Project Pandora. And the question at the center of Project Pandora, it wasn't just, what are the Soviets doing? It was, can we do it too? Can targeted frequency alter human cognition, right? Can it disrupt decision making? Can it influence behavior, emotion, and mental clarity without the target ever even knowing that it's been hit? And the answer that they found, should concern every single person watching this. Because what the CIA and the Department of Defense confirmed through their own classified research is the same thing that ancient traditions, modern neuroscience, and frequency medicine have been pointing to for centuries. And that is that the human body is not just flesh and bone. We are literally receivers, okay? Your brain, your nervous system, your pineal gland, all of it is very sensitive to the frequencies in your environment, okay? The Soviets knew that. Our government knew that. They just never told you. So the real question is, or should I say, the real question isn't whether frequency affects human consciousness. We know that it does. And that has already been proven at the highest levels of classified research. The real question is, what are you doing to protect yours? And what frequencies are you intentionally feeding with your mind, your body, and your energy field every single day? That's what this channel's about. Your mind, your body, and your soul. Stay locked in. I love you.
Y'all heard him? Stay locked in. Spam that shit up, man.
You're going to want to hear this. Don't you think it's odd that Alaska is part of the United States of America? The real reason is far darker and more complex than you have been led to believe. Deep within Alaska, there is a black pyramid, an ancient structure that is buried beneath the ground, emitting powerful energy. In 1992, an earthquake in China revealed this pyramid near Mount McKinley. This discovery was picked up by spy satellites, revealing its location to external nations. Indigenous Alaskan tribes also speak of a powerful sacred structure which fits the exact same description as the structure captured on the satellite. But it gets even crazier. According to ancient scripts, the Black Pyramid is part of a global network of ancient energy generators. These pyramids were scattered around the world by a civilization that used to walk with the gods. The purpose was to harness and distribute energy across the world. The same network includes the Great Pyramid of Giza. Since the founding of the United States, extra effort was placed into colonizing Alaska with the aim to reverse engineer the pyramid's technology for modern use.
I swear I wish we could get all of it back.
Anunnaki were the ones who did all this work 275,000 years ago. The pyramid is close to Mount Denali, deep underground. It's huge. It's bigger than the Giza pyramids. It can only be accessed through different shafts or tunnels. Army personnel use the space on a regular basis. So I could see people like moving around. I saw vehicles. When I remote view the place, I saw vehicles driving around the pyramid, and it's a massive conductor. And I was wondering, like, what's the main purpose of this structure? And the function of those pyramids is they can send out a beam of energy into space, not on Earth, into space, that can be refueling those crafts that won't even be seen by our current satellites. And so they regenerate their crafts from those energy beams on Earth. So they obviously generate that energy from the pyramid, and how they can send a signal up. Now, when we talk about what has never been asked, is that the motherships was used by the Anunnaki. So why are they using it for today? That same energy is used today for motherships, but they're not Anunnaki anymore. To do with the SS.
Found Atlantis on this map. And not only did we find Atlantis, we found Atlantis being the Americas. This is a 1752 map, and it's crazy. You got to check this out. Oh, and by the way, we had it translated too. I wait till you hear it. Blew my mind. I dive into old maps. This is what I do. Please feel free to hit me up in the comments if you'd like a link to this map. I'd be happy to send it to you. And let's just go ahead and start with this down here, which I had translated. And that translates into, least anyone be surprised to see on this map of the whole world an island of Atlantis corresponding to our America. We must state that this was not only done by us without deliberation. Indeed, even in earlier times, not only did the most famous geographers restore this land from antiquity, but also G. Sanson, the most learned among them all, elegantly divided into its 10 kingdoms corresponding to the American regions, just as the 10 sons of Neptune were said to have ruled. Although this may appear to be mere conjecture, it is nevertheless supported by writings which confirm that this other continent was known 400 years after the coming of Christ, an assertion which a certain very learned man deeply versed in Eastern languages has brought to public attention. Well, there you freaking have it. Comment and let me know what you think of that. All right, let's get at it and show you what we got. So, as we're going through, you can see right here where you have where they call South America. They're showing all these ancient names and ancient lands, which I guess would have been those lands of the Neptune's 10 sons, right? Whatever. I'm thinking that's what these lands are. Like I can read that one right there. It says Mestor. And then I went ahead and had some of this other stuff translated as well, because I was just curious on what it said. So this one right here, that one translates as, it says the southern part of the island of Atlantis is nearly equal to the size of Africa or Libya and is very similar in position and shape, which it is. And then I had it translated right here as well, and that one says, isthmus connecting the two parts of the island of Atlantis is just as the isthmus of Egypt connects Asia and Africa. Thought that was just really, really interesting. And then we'll just go ahead. Oh, check this out. So look at the area where Mexico is at, and look what they're calling it now. I just thought that was really interesting. And that's where Mexico City would be at, right there. Right where the little dot's at. But everything's listed out. And they call this big area Atlas here. And then This large area is Gadairus. All right, we had this translated as well here. So this portion translates to, where did I put that at? Let me see where I have this at so I can translate this for y'all properly. Thought this one was cool too. This says the northern part of the islands of Atlantis not only approaches Asia in size, but also initiates its shapes, customs, and the multitude of surrounding islands. Let me repeat that again, but also imitates its shapes, customs, and the multitude of surrounding islands. So the customs were I find that interesting. What do you think of that? I find it very interesting. All right, I think I did translate one other around here. Which one was it that I got? Oh, yeah. So as you go here, you can go all the way across. And, you know, they even started writing about it right here. Shows 1752. And then you have Africa and Europe and Asia all around here. And then this little portion right here, I did translate that up there as well because I was just curious on what it said up here. And it said, the mention of another continent once unknown to our times up to these shapes of the frozen and northern seas is said to by others to have been silenced, as recorded by Mercator from those indeed who have called that land Atlantis from the isthmus. So I thought that was interesting too, that they've talked about it again. And I think there's more in that I wasn't able to translate because they had Hyperborea in here too, which we see. But anyways, I just thought this was a really interesting map. If you, again, like a link to it, hit me up in the comments. Okay, if you stayed with me this long, you got to check this out. So this is the summary of the exact freaking map that I just showed you. And pause and read it. And show me on that summary, anywhere on that summary, where it says Atlantis. It's like they intentionally left it out. It makes no freaking sense. I was just flabbergasted. How about that word, huh? I couldn't believe that Atlantis wasn't even mentioned when this entire map was all about Atlantis and it being there. Let me know what you think of that. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the support. And until next time. Y'all know we made it to the end of this. Don't forget to hype up the video as well. And if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe. Hit that bell so you always notified whenever we drop them uploads. Y'all know we coming with about 4 videos every smooth 7. And this is for entertainment purposes as well. And when you like and comment and subscribe to the channel, helps Collective grow, helps Collective get bigger, helps more people who like this type of content tap in with this content. But I appreciate you if you're watching on TV, whatever the case is. I wish it was smooth 7. Love y'all Collective. Till I see y'all in the next one. Y'all know what it is. We gone.
Ay, yeah, I just check my account. Sheesh, at the amount. You probably know it.